welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Advansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue.
You're trying to be extra quiet today, April. It's like you're doing ASMR.
We need to be, serious for the movie that we're talking about today.
You mean film that we're talking about today?
It's a very
Yes.
serious,
I'm-
cinematic...
By the way, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Colin Cunningham.
Smoking
Oh, he doesn't say that in the movie, does he?
causes cancer. No, it's a deleted scene.
Oh my god.
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
well, Son of the Mask, you guys.
Jesus God.
This was Justin's idea.
Justin, you said you wanted to. You said at the very first episode, I think, that your choices were good. You wanted to bring the pain a little.
I
make
do.
us suffer a little.
Because,
Yeah.
we watched a movie that April loves last time. Come on.
true.
That's always in the theme of this podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
now I think this might be
Your favorite movie?
Worst movie we've covered.
No.
I think this is my least favorite
I will.
movie.
Okay, I don't
It's
know.
my least favorite.
It's a toss-up. As far as most unpleasant to watch, it's a toss-up between this and Black Devil Doll from Hell for
Dude,
me.
Black Devil Doll was funny. What's wrong with you guys? I thought you were going to say The Grinch.
Well,
Oh,
The Grinch is
okay,
absolutely
okay.
the worst movie we've ever watched.
Well,
this is worse than
this
The
may
Grinch.
top it, I think.
cannot sit through this again. I'd sit through The Grinch if I had to.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
almost-
Yeah.
I watched this once. I didn't watch it more than once. So what am I was going to lie and be like, I watched it multiple times.
It was getting
No,
towards
no.
the end, and this is first of all, the longest 90 minutes
Yeah.
of my life.
Yeah.
I was getting to the end, and I'm like, my God, it just keeps going, and there was 13 minutes left, and I almost just got up to have a shower.
See, I wonder, if we had watched this the night before and had, a couple of drinks, would it have gone by faster? Maybe. But the
Or
fact that
will
we
it have
were
been like an endless hell that you cannot escape from?
I probably would have refused to rewatch it again to take
Exactly.
notes this
Yeah.
morning, so I'm kind of glad that we
Well,
At
you know
least
what?
you're
I'm
lucid.
here not to defend Son of Mask, but because I was watching it and it ended and I was 2 stars. And I was like, well, but wait, there was enough because it's so bad
Yeah.
and it's trying some stuff I appreciate and it's not really funny. It doesn't work.
No.
I do not like Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, he's terrible in this.
Ugh. And the director of this film is Canadian though.
Oh,
And I'm curious because he did work in the VFX industry.
I'm not surprised because his first,
He did Cats and Dogs.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big hit before
Lawrence
this.
Gutterman is his name.
He didn't really do...
Not a good name.
Didn't do anything after this, really. He did
No,
some kids
this
animated
canceled him,
show.
yeah.
Oh,
which-
yeah. After this, his reputation's probably...
No, I think he changed careers. I was looking at his Instagram. He's in something else now.
Oh, okay.
He took this very seriously on the commentary track on the DVD. He has notes, and Jamie Kennedy will not let him read them. He's like, oh, that sucks. That sucks. Why? No one cares about that. And it's
Well,
like-
I first saw, I don't know, I think it was probably 6 months ago or longer when I watched Jamie Kennedy came on YouTube. He's got his own YouTube channel and talked about this in a 3-part series, how he got involved, the filming of it, what happened afterwards.
aftermath.
And it's really funny. He's way more thoughtful about it than...
Well, he has a lot more distance from it now than I'm sure when he did that commentary track.
For sure, yeah. But
Well, there's some new videos on there where he talked to the director who found a work print version of it. And Jamie Kennedy's like, this version is so much better than the version that was released. Okay, maybe that's true. This work print version would also be 2 hours long. 2 hours.
Can't have that.
God, I could barely get through this 90
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. It was the hardest thing, I think.
So let's take a step back. Let's take. Oh, guys, you're exaggerating.
No.
I remember seeing this when I was a kid and being like, "This is so bad." I don't think I finished it either. I remember stopping when Loki traps them in the alleyway, and I was like,
Okay.
"No, I don't want to watch this anymore."
Which seems like it's going to be the final act of the
Yes.
movie, and then
No.
there's
it
another
goes on
act.
and on,
And then we go
Okay.
back to that same alley again later.
Yeah.
They
Hey, you
go.
gotta
Well, I want
reuse
to
that
ask:
set.
do you guys like the masks, the Jim Carrey
Yes,
version?
I
I mean,
love
April
them.
absolutely does.
I
yeah.
love it. Yeah, and I think that made this more painful just because.
Well,
I am
I'm going to
such a
say
big fan.
I watched The Mask in the last few years. Didn't hold up, I have to say.
Yeah, I got that feeling. I liked it when
want
it.
to rewatch it as well.
I liked it when it came out, and
Yeah, I
in
loved it when it came
subsequent
out.
Rewatches, it's not great. It's very very of its time.
well,
And what that movie does as well is that, all those crazy cartoon special effects, which people should point out were actually, there's not that many because it was an independent production by New Line
Right.
Productions. There's not that much. I think as a kid you build it up in your mind about all the wild stuff Jim Carrey does as the mask, and it's like
it's really him.
it's him.
It's mostly him doing all this crazy
which
movement
just
stuff.
sort of like enhanced by the odd CGI gag. Well, it's like when people think of Jurassic Park and there's like 50 effect shots in the whole movie, as opposed to like 2,000 that there would be in like a normal movie now.
Yeah,
but it's funny watching this. You really appreciate the first one, like
yes,
oh God, yes,
what they did right, and just
it took a long time for this one to come out,
right?
And so basically, what they decided was people love that zany mask. That's what they remember. What if the whole movie was zany?
Yeah,
just everything zany. This is like the cat in the Hat period.
Yes,
of like family filmmaking, where it's like
I was thinking.
Everything is wild. I've never seen The Cat in the Hat. That's a movie we should watch for the podcast.
I need 6 months.
It just looks
between
so
this
dreadful.
No,
it looks so dreadful. I've got a pounding headache just after watching this movie right now.
Yeah, the wide angle,
everything is wide angle.
But the thing is that the real issue with this movie is that there's no differentiation between the real world and the cartoon world. It's all cartoon world. And there were some cartoony gags when the mask was the mask in the first one that, cartoony violence. The guys had like the pipes
mufflers
sticking out of their asses and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, if that happened in real life, they'd be dead. But this is just like everything is happening all at once, and so there's no real life consequences.
And the movie's also, from its 2-hour version, been cut up. Scenes are like chopped in half, shuffled around. So it's also a meaningless movie where there's no build-up. There's no kind of like structure to any of the gags.
No.
It's just screaming in your face the entire time.
Yeah, and everything is just so random and comes out of nowhere. And the way Jamie Kennedy is playing this character is just so bizarre.
Well, he's playing him like a cartoon.
Yes.
Which is like, what are you doing?
And that's the one thing that Jim Carrey brought to Stanley Ipkiss in the first one. There was like some humanity to him that you could kind of latch onto as an audience. And I find that the way Jamie Kennedy and all the characters in this movie are acting, it's just you just step back and you can't connect with anybody, and it's just like an assault on the senses.
I think that's why they hired Stephen Wright to be the boss. It's like, okay, we need to bring the energy down a little bit.
Well, you mean, how about the opening of the movie was Ben Stein?
So we got two stone-faced comedians in this. Ben
Stein was in the first one as well.
That's right, the only returning character. Don't look up his Twitter, but I thought he was actually kind of funny in this opening scene. I'll give him that.
This is as normal as the movie gets in this opening scene.
Listening to the commentary track, I felt so bad because the director said, I was very inspired by the opening shot of Back to the Future because it's all done in a oneer. And it's like, but it wasn't like a wild CGI assisted oneer where anything can happen.
Yeah.
Because then it's meaningless.
Yeah, this like camera zooming everywhere. And I was like, is that a drone or is it all just CGI and fake? It's doing this throughout the entire movie. It's not just that opening scene.
Yeah, the camera is just constantly zipping around.
Kind of like Mordecai.
Swish zooms. Everything has like a sound effect to it when the camera swishes, when someone's hand moves into frame. It's like, whoa. Oh,
Really what it comes down to is this movie is like, you like cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Here's a live action cartoon. It's not
just screaming in your face.
Not what anyone wants. Even people who love Looney Tunes, Tex Avery.
Yeah. Well, Looney Tunes are 7 minutes long usually. And they don't start in madness. I mean, the closest you'd get that is like late period Tex Avery, as the character in this movie is named after Tim Avery. I guess he's his failure son.
I didn't get that until the end when they showed his credit on TV. I was like, no.
Like late period Tex Avery are kind of like this movie. They're like very hateful, like Screwy Squirrel has like this like anti-comedy bit where he just slams the head of the dog over like 100 times different objects, and it goes on for like 30 seconds.
I mean cartoon violence can be funny, but it really didn't work for me in this movie.
No, it's just obnoxious.
Especially against the dog, even though the dog is a CGI abomination.
Well, I got to say that, let me just start with my favorite thing. It's hard to find
the
anything.
CGI baby.
I'm going to say the dog because I think it's the only thing that kind of works.
Do you mean like the character of the dog?
The character of the dog.
It does have a character.
It does have a character, and it seems to have, I don't know, some goals. But I think the look of the dog kind of matches the look of the dog when he puts on the mask in the first movie. It strikes that balance of cartoon and realism well. The baby we'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
Well, I will say the live action dog, very well trained.
Oh yeah.
Good dog acting.
2 dogs that play that role. Just like the 2 babies for the babies when they're live action.
Of course.
So the opening, Alan Cummings plays Loki, our favorite Norse trickster god, who wants his mask back because I guess he created it. Who cares?
I will say, okay, well, I'm just going to say it. I think that Alan Cumming is my favorite thing about this movie.
I'm glad you guys are getting through this early on, so I don't have to remind you at the end of this. And you're like, I don't know.
Like, to be honest,
the movie ending was my favorite thing.
He's the only actor in this that's good. Sorry to everyone else who's in this movie. Maybe Ben Stein's okay, but like
Bob Hoskins has entered the
terrible.
chat.
No,
Bob Hoskins did not know that this was a live action performance. He thought he was coming in for voiceover.
So is he under all that makeup?
Yeah, he's under all that makeup.
He seems to be. That seems to happen to him a lot.
Like, he just doesn't read the script.
Yeah, he's
when
like,
he comes and shows up.
Oh, I didn't know Mario was a cartoon character in a video game.
Anyway, I think Alan Cumming is game, and I think that he actually makes some of these crazy antics work.
Yeah.
Was I laughing at him? Not really, but I mean, he does get to dress up into like 100 different costumes.
Yeah,
in
boy,
this,
does he ever.
And it's kind
there's
of
too much
fun.
Alan Cummings in this movie. If I was
Yeah.
going to do something, like there's all these scenes of him like going to people's houses looking for the baby
Yes.
and doing some whack. Like cut all that
I
shit
know,
out.
and it's like one scene, so it's like why?
no,
even
it's
have
like
it?
4 scenes.
yeah.
No, sorry, I mean like within the scene, it's like
Yeah, it's
just
like the same
a couple
joke.
different
Yeah, yeah.
shots.
Yeah, but it's like every house he goes to, he's in a different costume, and
And he like sucks someone up into a vacuum cleaner. It's like it's not funny. It's just not
it's
good.
really that was the very I think I said Dr. Seuss stuff.
yeah, the production design in some of those houses, just like
Yeah,
what is going on?
What is with Jamie Kennedy and wife's house? It is bright green.
Well,
and, like,
it's supposed to
red.
look like a cartoon. That's what it's supposed to look
Yeah,
like.
even like, but why? It's just so bizarre, and it's like even it kind of seems to have like kind of skewed perspective. I don't know, maybe it's just an illusion.
Now,
but-
I'm going to get on my Son of Mass defense train
All right.
and say that I like all the production design. Well, okay, I don't like it. I like that it exists.
Yes.
That there's like big sets, there's big comedy props.
Right.
We never see big comedy props anymore, like a big grenade
Yeah,
or anything
yeah.
like that somebody has to build.
You're right,
I
you're
enjoy
right.
that kind of stuff.
It's fine. I just don't think in this movie it all adds up to way too much.
We need to talk about Jamie Kennedy. Were
Yeah.
you guys ever a fan of Jamie? I never was.
No, I wasn't out here being like, I hate him, he's terrible. But
Did he have like no Canadian presence? Because that's the sense that I get. Because none of my friends are talking about him.
I think that show aired here.
The Jamie
Yeah.
Kennedy
Was that an
experiment.
MTV show?
I don't think it did. Yeah, because it would have been when me and April were in high school, so we would have been primed to watch the Jamie Kennedy
What
experiment.
was he known from? Like just
Malibu's Most Wanted.
Scream?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
he-
Scream. Yeah.
Yeah, Scream. No, but he was known for that show where I don't think anyone will want to watch it now because he plays a lot of different ethnicities in the show.
He's always in makeup and stuff like that.
There's a deleted scene from this movie where he plays a large black woman
Oh my gosh.
that's included on the DVD. It's like, oh no.
Put it in. Put it in.
But I will say that, like, I kind of want to watch Malibu's Most Wanted now.
I don't.
It looks like it's so embarrassing that I think it might be funny. I don't know.
I don't. Yeah. It just,
I think somebody funny directed Malibu's Most Wanted.
That
I'm gonna look
movie
it up
was
now.
enough for him. It was considered a hit. It wasn't a huge failure.
Was it?
I guess.
It was an extension of a character he played on his show, I think,
That
too.
makes sense. So it's like his SNL movie.
like the kind of white
Yeah.
rapper or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I don't know anything about him. I've never seen him in anything.
It was from the director of Deck the Halls. That's why I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen him in Scream. I have not seen him in anything else
Yeah, I will say good in Scream.
except this.
But Scream and Scream 2. But I didn't watch that growing up. So,
yeah, I had no opinion on him either way. So,
Yeah.
'cause-
Well, he's
just
the
'cause I don't
annoying
know.
nerd. Like, that's the perfect role for him.
Yeah.
Not the leading man or like the everyman in a movie.
Yeah, it's just
He just can't do it.
Yeah, he can't. It just doesn't. It looks like he's doing something.
He's awful in this.
He's really bad.
As mask guy and whatever his name is, Tim.
I mean, okay, so he is a person who wants to be an animator, and he works in the building as the mascot. Buddy, that's not how you're going to become an animator and run your own show.
I think he's
start as an in-betweener. Like, that's what you're going to do.
You got to start somewhere, Justin.
I do like the design of this office, though. It's really big and
pretty wacky.
Yeah, it's
no animation office has ever looked like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like an atrium. Like, they are in big rooms like that, but like there's like mascots walking around and tour groups being let in and people, things like falling down on the walls.
They do actually do that apparently at Disney. I think it's Disney Florida or something, where they have tours like showing the animators.
That's actually like a part of Disney World or whatever.
Yeah.
Do the animators, I guess they work at Disney, like the Pixar films they animate there?
No, that would be in California at Pixar.
That's in California. No, yeah. The Florida one, I think they had to create an animation studio there. That didn't last very long.
No, it didn't.
Because they wanted to be like Hollywood. And they're like, we don't have an animation studio here. So they created like a C team that did stuff.
Yeah, that's right. And then it closed. I think my friend worked there for a bit, and it closed very shortly after it opened.
Because if people don't know, like, animation, it's all done in like South Korea now.
Yeah.
And it has been since the early 90s.
Probably not the Disney stuff.
Probably not. And I'm curious, like Titmouse, I think it's done in-house because they have very kind of like limited animation. Not limited, but like a style that they do. Titmouse does like kind of Adult Swim shows is what I would say. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I see what you mean.
And I mean, I know we're critiquing the logic of this location that we're seeing, and I don't even think you see people animating because you just see a cafeteria.
You see people drawing.
Yeah. Okay. They have their like light tables that they're drawing on and stuff like that.
Briefly, you see that.
Maybe they're storyboarding. That's, you do storyboards and key art is usually done. Me and April, I know we listen to What a Cartoon Movie, so we know how animation works now, right, April?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, well, I took classical animation at school, so I had.
That's right. So you would know how to do it. Did you go to what's the Toronto one? Sheridan.
Yeah, I went to Sheridan, and so first year you had to buy like a light table, which is like the little disc. You put a light bulb behind it, and you can do. You learn how to flip the pages.
Very cool.
You have a light.
Did you ever do any tests of hand-drawn animation?
Yeah, we had.
What would you say? I mean, April, have you ever seen Colin draw? Like, what is his drawing style like?
He hasn't drawn since I've met him, but I did find your old school sketchbook that you showed me, and it was mostly just like life drawings and stuff because you were learning like how to do.
It's mostly what you did at
that
school,
stuff,
so.
and like the shapes of the bodies and
so, did you have like an inspiration, Colin? Because you must have been drawing in high school of like, I want to draw like this.
I would always doodle and stuff, but I never wanted to go into classical animation, so I wanted to go into computer animation.
It's a very punishing job.
It is,
unless you're a storyboard artist or.
My friend Steve Williams, Spaz, talked me into going to Sheridan. He said you want to get that animation background if you want to be an animator. You want to learn the basics of animation. I didn't want to draw.
So even then you were like, I want to do visual effects like Spaz does.
Yeah, exactly. And so I went to Sheridan. I applied to classical animation. It was one of the hardest programs to get into at Sheridan because they had thousands of applicants for like 120 spots or something. So I didn't get in because I didn't have like the fundamentals. So they said, take art fundamentals for a year. So I did that and then applied from there, learned how to draw, like very heavy on life drawing and perspective and painting and all that sort of stuff. I reapplied and then got in. So I went for 1 year, got a job offer.
And then never came back.
And never came back.
You're like, RoboCop is going to take me to the top, baby.
I'd actually worked on RoboCop before I went to Sheridan, and then I got a job offer in the summer at Core, and then just never came back. And that's what they said. Even the teachers at school, they said, if you get an offer, like never, just take it and run.
Take it.
Visual effects industry, there's nothing but money there.
Exactly.
It's only up, up, up.
Well, it's funny because when I came out of school, I left and all my friends stayed for the other 2 years of the program. And by the time they had come out of the program, there really weren't a lot of jobs.
Do you know anyone you were in school with who does something in the animation industry now, like not visual effects?
Yeah, maybe a couple.
Oh, okay. So some of them are living the dream.
Well, a couple have like gone into being animators in visual effects. I know some of them worked on like Spider-Man. So pretty much everybody that I work with went into it in some form, but I'd say half and half. Like some went into visual effects, some stayed in like 2D.
2D.
Oh, I'm gonna have more animation questions when we get to the cartoony elements of this, because I have a lot of them.
Hey, my friend Spaz, he was the VFX supervisor on the original Mask.
That's right.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
What are his opinions on this movie?
I don't know. I've never talked to him about it, but he got an Oscar.
We should give
nom
him
for
a
the first
call.
movie.
We can insert it right here. Hey, it's me, Spaz.
It probably won't be very good.
I love Son of Mask. No, usually when people like worked very much in something like that, and there's a sequel, they're like, I just haven't seen it. Like, why would I watch it?
Well, especially when people say it's bad.
Yeah, I don't think they would sit down.
And this is an ILM effect,
Which
thing.
shocked me because
They did all the baby, is
Okay.
what they said. Yeah.
there is a huge gap in quality, I think, between some of the effects. Like, not saying the baby is good,
Yeah.
but
No.
We're not even at the baby. I cannot believe how long it takes for the baby to show up in this. 45 minutes.
it's called
You know what?
Son of the
Thank
Mask.
goodness, because I didn't want to
Oh,
look
no,
at
I love
it.
the baby.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just to set up the plot here, Jamie Kennedy's wife, the girl from Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place.
A forgotten sitcom that ran
liked
for like 10 seasons.
I love that sitcom.
She was the girl.
She was the girl, and so she
Oh,
wants
for
her
a little
kid-
while.
her-
Didn't they change it after a while?
they-
It's like
no.
two guys in a pizza place.
No. They changed it to Two Guys and a Girl.
Okay.
They dropped the pizza place.
Oh, okay.
Ryan Reynolds. Anyway.
And Nathan Fillion.
Really?
Yeah, Nathan Fillion
Yep.
was not one of the guys. But
Oh, he wasn't one of the guys? I
No,
thought he was.
I think he was.
He was the
I
pizza
think he was
place.
dating the girl. But the other guy, I don't know his name, but he's very funny. He kind of looks like Jeremy Piven, but it's not Jeremy Piven.
Oh, no.
Anyway, her character is she wants to have a baby,
Mm-hmm.
and she also is like an executive. So hey, at least she has a life.
That
outside of the
explains
house.
this enormous house that
Yeah.
they live in.
She's
This is
In
like-
some of the deleted scenes, she's like, I can't pay all the bills. You need a better job.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, good.
This house is huge.
She's the breadwinner.
It's gigantic.
Well, yeah, she has to. It's funny that where she's like, I have to leave for a week to New York, and the dad is like, or Jamie Kennedy's like, are you kidding me? You can't leave me for a week with a newborn. And
Why is it
like,
Jamie Kennedy taking care of this goddamn baby?
Because
like-
because fathers don't take care of their children.
He's set up like they so
Like, he clearly has a part-time job.
kind
He's a
of.
fucking mascot.
Mascot,
Guy. Is that a
yeah.
full-time job?
That's not a full-time job. Mascots are writing angry emails at us right
Anyway,
now.
the
So-
mask.
I know, it's hard.
The mask just washes up on shore. Connection to the first movie.
Yeah,
which is kind
yeah.
of
Because I was kind of wondering. Ben Stein's doing this museum tour at the beginning when Alan Cumming shows up, and they have the mask in like a glass case.
Yeah.
and then he grabs it, and it turns out it's like made in Taiwan
Yeah.
or something. It's like a fake, and then the mask shows up, washes up on shore. This dog, Otis,
who just
grabs it.
happens to look like Stanley Ipkiss's dog,
Milo
Milo.
and Otis.
Yeah, but we go to Edge City, which is where the first mask took place, to Fringe City.
And this is the most gorgeous countryside you've ever seen. It's so lush and beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell is this? This is amazing. You see a matte painting of the city in the background.
And so the dog gets the mask, and I guess he brings it inside, and then Jamie Kennedy is like, "What is this?" Also, there's a scene where Jamie Kennedy makes out with his dog.
Also, the dog has its own
Yeah.
gigantic room.
Okay, this is insane.
This is what happens, people, when you don't have children and you just have pets. They took it too far.
This dog has a bigger room than I do.
And it has like paintings on the wall of the
like,
dog.
bones.
It's got like
Yeah.
cartoon bone wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got like AstroTurf. He's got like a little goalie net, like a hockey net, the size of a
Pretty
dog.
cute. I mean,
That comes later on in a deleted scene. I'm the son of Maskhead now. I know all this stuff.
Oh,
where
man.
Jamie Kennedy goes, "Go get me the mask. Go get me the mask." And then the dog comes back and he's wearing a hockey mask.
oh, that's actually
joke.
cute.
Yeah, they do play like he throws like a ball and he like grabs it. It's really cute.
It is cute because like the dog is really good at acting. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I know he's just playing, but like,
Yeah, the dog's a very, as opposed to bad dog acting.
Well, they keep like looking to their trainer, you know.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
all seen
No,
it.
this guy's good, but the dog for some reason has like a bunk bed in this
Yes.
room.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Well, maybe Jamie Kennedy wants to sleep with the dog, but they don't want to cuddle, so.
but
We
it's
all
like
know.
almost like a dog-sized bunk bed. Like,
Yeah.
like
I
he's
mean,
gonna
again,
have his dog buddies
This
over.
isn't that weird. I've seen a lot of pictures online of people who like.
It's weird.
People,
It's weird.
People get miniature
Like-
couches for their cats and stuff.
Well, that's
But
understandable.
yeah, that's not a whole room
you're right.
dedicated
You're right. It's
to.
not a whole. I've seen the like people turn like a crawl space into like a little bedroom.
This is a movie that was made a few years before the recession of the 2000s.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We got money to burn.
Yeah, they're defaulting on their loan in like a few years. But the funny thing is, it sets up Jamie Kennedy and his wife, and they're at their friend's house with like all these bratty kids.
Definitely a scene I can relate to.
This is a fucking nightmare. This movie makes me never want to be around children or have children because they're constantly screaming.
And
Children are fine.
Those aren't even cartoon children.
Those are real ones.
Wait till you get to the cartoon kid.
Yeah, and he's kind of looking around. He's like sweating, and then this like
kind of funny. They turn around and one of them is just hitting the other one in the back.
Yeah, and then
that's accurate.
One of them runs towards Jamie Kennedy and like headbutts him right in the dick. It's like, oh.
Again, like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but like that was kind of funny.
I guess.
Yeah, man gets hit in the head in dick by child's head.
Yeah.
Funny.
But this is the first time we get to see the use of wide-angle lenses in this movie.
No, this is not the first time. The opening scene was Alan Cummings. They're like,
It's basically every scene.
Also, can we talk about Cal Penn, who shows up very briefly in this movie?
Yeah.
And so Jamie Kennedy in the commentary for this film was like, we just wanted him to do an Indian accent. It's funnier. He didn't want to. And we were like, you got to do the accent. It's like, Jamie Kennedy, no.
He's noticeably only doing it in half his scenes. Like
he is absolutely yes.
Just disappears.
Yeah, it's
several
toned,
times.
It's toned down to the point where
no, he's not even using it. And like,
don't make him do an accent, man.
Yeah,
come on.
Well, this was. I was saying this is before he could be American. Like in all his roles at this point, he had to have the Indian accent.
Oh, that's right, because he was like Taj and Van Wilder, right?
And I think some other small roles, and then he got to be. In Harold and Kumar, and then from then on he could just he had a huge career, and then he left to work for the Obama administration, and now he's back and he's in the Santa Claus TV show.
Oh dear.
Oh no, poor Cal Penn.
And that Schoolhouse Rock thing we were watching last night.
Oh, okay, this is so embarrassing. It's like a celebration of Schoolhouse Rock. It's like the 50th anniversary hosted by. It's on Disney Plus. Check it out. But it's like it's hosted by Ryan Seacrest, and then it has like they go through and they have celebrities doing all the famous songs from Schoolhouse Rock, and it's the most embarrassing thing you've ever seen.
Yeah. And for some reason, Cal Penn is in it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and Jason Biggs.
Jason Biggs. He's in this movie briefly.
For some reason, he's like Jamie Kennedy's friend at the office. He's always in like a mocap suit.
Yeah, I guess that he's a mocap guy.
Okay, so yeah, but he's always wearing it even when they're like eating lunch and stuff.
Oh, why take it off just to eat lunch?
Yeah, but then they're like, oh, it's what's his name? Stephen Wright is like the owner of the company.
I guess he's like
he's like, oh my god, the owner's down in the cafeteria.
And he's like,
let's go talk to him.
Go pitch him your idea.
In real life, the owner would not eat with everyone else.
Oh, you never know.
I mean, maybe. And then, like, if someone says, like,
a man of the people.
Right. Well, he is, like, totally receptive to Jamie Kennedy. And what bugs me about this movie is that Jamie Kennedy gets, like, a million chances to not be a guy in a costume, and he just screws up all of them because he can't talk and also seemingly has no good ideas and can't draw and is just awful at everything.
But they set him up after, his wife is driving him home from the friend's house.
Yeah.
He's playing this Game Boy or something in the car.
Game Boy Advance.
He's like acting like a 12-year-old like through this entire movie.
He's acting like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, I'm like, how old are you? What are you doing? And why is this woman with you?
Well, to her credit, she's like, let's get a kid so maybe you can be with someone who actually acts your age.
Or someone that
we skipped the nightmare sequence he has.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh, I love that sequence where it ends with a shot of 30 babies with vampire teeth for some reason.
I know.
Or like snake teeth.
Yeah, they're like snake teeth.
Yeah, they're like,
I missed that.
Did you look down? Yeah, well, you missed it.
I missed
he passed
teeth.
out. It was too scary.
The picture is on Twitter. If
I was covering my eyes.
Yeah, go to my Twitter because it's all mask posting right now.
It's
Son of mask posting.
The thing is, it's just like there's no separation between when the mask comes and normal. So he's having these insanely fantasy sequences that I don't need.
That it all just like fits in the same world. It's just it's too much.
That's supposed to tell us he's afraid of having kids.
Yeah.
Let's get to the part. Why is he afraid of having kids?
Yeah.
He has no responsibility.
Exactly.
He's very well off. He has a giant house. He can build a room for his dog.
He doesn't have a job, so he says, like, he's like,
You
I
can
want
take
my
care of a
child
goddamn
to respect
kid, man.
me. But yeah, you're home now to take care of a kid. He could be a stay-at-home dad and draw, like, on the side.
Absolutely.
He's just a big loser.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's like a 12-year-old. But then, so he makes this is the most bizarre scene. So he like comes home, makes up with his wife by drawing her like a kind of flip book
That just turns into an
apology,
animated thing.
and it's like him like sort of she starts flipping it, and then it goes into like this fully animated sequence of him like I don't know proposing
Giving
his
her
love.
his heart.
Yeah, and then
Supposed to be sweet.
and then it just cuts to her laughing at it, and it's the most disingenuous like ha 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 ha.
That was so thoughtful.
Yeah. And then,
Come on, let's hurry. I want him to put his mask
okay,
on.
well, yeah, it's set up earlier that there's his work is hosting like a big Halloween party, and he doesn't have an outfit. So she's like,
What was his plan? That he was just going to put this wooden mask that his dog found that has no straps on
no
it.
straps.
He's just going to like hold it up to his face the entire time.
He's gonna have like double-sided tape on the inside of it.
Yeah.
Or like
But
spirit gum.
she's like, why don't you wear that mask the dog found? So he does, and he turns into Jamie Kennedy Mask Man.
Yeah.
So what's really funny about Jamie Kennedy as the mask is they gave him the stiffest face imaginable, the
not
exact
just the
opposite of Jim Carrey.
It's
true.
like he does nothing. He can't even move his
the
feet.
hair,
can't move his
hair
mouth,
is
yeah.
also plastic.
Yeah, his hair is
Yeah.
plastic,
Plastic
his
hair.
face is plastic, and then he's got these big teeth that just barely can open. And I don't know what accent he's doing.
Justin, can you explain the voice?
Oh, I heard someone say exactly who he's doing, and I don't remember. He's supposed to be like a game show host, is what he's trying to do.
Okay, let's do this.
I was thinking Jerry Lewis as not
It's like Ricardo Montalban or something like that.
Jerry Lewis as Buddy Love is the only thing I could think of because
I think that's what Jamie Kennedy thought he was doing.
Yeah, that's
but
what he
it's
thought he was doing.
sort of
but
like
it doesn't
we're
even
going
sound
out for a
like Jamie
drive.
Kennedy. So, and obviously it's dubbed because he can't talk. I was like, is this someone else? But I guess not.
It's
him.
just so bizarre and weird. It's like he's kind of trying to do Jim Carrey, but not. It's just very weird.
This is the scene that was canceled where he goes, smoking causes cancer.
No, I do.
That was his first line in the original version of the movie.
Well, you posted it on Twitter, and it doesn't happen here, and I was so
No,
disappointed.
I posted all the funniest stuff I posted on Twitter is not in the version that you guys probably watched.
we watched the version that doesn't have the sperm.
The sperm sequence, yeah.
But there is a version out there that's cut in.
International version because New Line fought him on it being a PG movie.
Oh.
And it was supposed to be a PG-13. The original Mask was PG-13. Why would you make this one PG? It makes no sense. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense
really
to me.
weird. Yeah, so then
Yeah.
I was doubly disappointed. I'm like, fuck.
You're like,
gonna get
I wanted that
something-
sperm sequence.
I don't get the smoking cancer joke. I don't get the sperm.
The DVD is fun because in the deleted scenes, the director is right when he's like, this scene was much better this way, and the studio cut it out. Like, it's one of those, like, they just let the director talk about how it's not his movie at the end of the day in the special features.
At that
They
point,
never do
don't
that
care.
anymore.
Yeah.
No, they never let. No, it's like Alan Taylor doing the commentary for Thor. The Dark World is a gun pressed against his head.
Everything
He's like,
was
I had
great.
lots of good experiences making this movie.
Okay, so now we have a big dance sequence that is horribly
Oh.
embarrassing
Okay,
for
this is-
The
everyone
deleted
involved.
scene is this dance sequence is 5 minutes long. It's like double the length.
Are you sure it wasn't that long? Because that's
no,
how long
'cause
it
he
felt.
It's
does like
already so long.
He does an Ozzy Osbourne parody in the deleted scene, which is not in this version. It's so long.
It goes on and on and on, and there's no reason for it.
There's
So,
no
like,
reason for it.
No.
There's like the film assumes like we love Jamie Kennedy as the Mask, and we can't get enough of him doing this dance.
Man, I'm just thinking of like the original, where he goes
They
to the
call me
Cocobongo.
Cuban Pete.
Yeah.
Well, no, he does Cuban Pete later, but he goes to
Later,
the
yeah,
Cocobongo club, and then he sees Cameron Diaz for the first time. So there's
Yeah.
like some sort of plot development, and then he like gets on stage and he's kind of like showing off. It kind of makes sense. Like here, I guess the party is dying and they just need entertainment or something.
Yeah,
and
and
then
everybody loves him.
he
They
does
somehow seem to know it's him, even though it looks nothing like him.
yeah. So he
Or sounds anything like it.
He does it. He does a rap. He does a. He does like, and it's all a version of that same song. Like,
Yeah.
I love you, baby. He does like a Neil Diamond version of it.
Yes, he does. He does a country version of it.
Yeah. At one point,
it's all awful.
It's
the worst cover.
bad.
I was laughing with a big smile on my
it's
face.
so embarrassing.
It's so bad. I could
hate it.
not believe how long it went. And there's a shot of like 5 live action cars like dancing.
Oh yeah,
the
the cars dancing. That's the type of joke you'd think I would laugh at, but I didn't.
It's just so elaborate.
If you were drunk, you'd be like, Justin, I like this better than Mordecai.
No, it's too.
All
too
I see is
sober.
just like money burning on the screen.
I love it. I love it.
How elaborate this
Because like
scene is.
money's burning on screen in ways that we can't easily comprehend in today's modern blockbusters of like, oh, they did like 50 variations of the CG shot.
Yeah. Like, you see the Gray Man and it's what, like 300 million, but then
And you're like, where?
you can see the money on screen.
Well, they
here.
had like 200 extra dancers in this.
Yeah, and it's just like the time they must have spent. Like,
Every extra in this movie is
practicing.
Australian too, doing an American accent,
Yep.
Yes.
being like, I'm American. And it's like, oh no.
Well, April pointed out that it's one of the actors from Kath and Kim. Or
Shows up later. Yeah,
She's like the
I do not know what that is.
It's
Oh
an
yes, she's in
Australian show.
Babe as well.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Also, the mom and Babe, and Colin's never seen Babe.
And her voice sounds strangely dubbed in this movie.
No, that's
Yes.
how she sounds in Babe. I'm
Well,
telling you, she
So
can do it
on the commentary. They say they're not allowed to dub the actors with other actors. So they're like, we have to get what we get on the day. So if their accent's not good.
I see.
So after this big dance number, the mask goes back home and makes sweet love to his wife. And this is a sequence that wasn't in the version that you guys saw,
No.
where it zooms into the sperm, and then you get 3 sperms racing towards. Can you guess what you get a parody of? Chariots of Fire.
Oh no!
That
Come
this
on.
and the Grinch, they're all doing Chariots of Fire.
Really?
People love Chariots of Fire.
Like who would get that reference? in
This sequence goes on
2005?
for so long too. Like they do Three Stooges shtick, like they're
my
screaming and
God.
racing. Chariots of Fire. I remember I looked this up when we did The Grinch. When did Chariots of Fire come out? 1981.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
they're
I've
still doing
definitely
parodies in 2005.
never seen it.
I remember my dad when that soundtrack came out. I think I may have said this on the podcast
did.
before, but we would drive around town listening to the Chariots of Fire soundtrack on our car stereo.
So I mean, it was in the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah,
But okay.
in
so
1981 it was.
In one day, wife is pregnant, and also what's so stupid is like everyone's like, "Wow, we loved what you did at that Halloween
We loved
party.
you as the mask when you made us dance.
Tell us your
transformed
idea."
women.
And then like he's like, "Make a cartoon out of your Halloween costume. I like that green guy."
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Stephen Wright has already drawn up like character designs, and it's got him as like the tornado. He's like, I really like that green guy.
Yeah.
You know what I loved when I was a kid? The Mask cartoon show.
I did watch a little bit of that, but I can't remember much about it.
I don't remember anything. I remember I liked it because it was all those Disney Adventure mask covers where it would be like Tom Hanks back to back with the cartoon mask smiling up a storm. Oh yeah, that was like the famous. If you look up Disney Adventure covers, every cover was like a live action person back to back with like a cartoon, and it was always like, wait, what? Why? I'm just bringing it up now. Disney Adventure magazine, for people that don't know, was like actually a really fun. Sorry, I'm looking at some of the covers now. It's like Tim the Toolman Taylor back to back with Pete from Goof Troop. Michael
check
Jackson was Pinocchio.
Did you say Peter Jackson with Pinocchio?
No, Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Rick Moranis was the baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
all right. Who would be back to back with the baby in this movie?
Jamie Kennedy, I guess.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because at one point this baby is a cartoon, because they just do a full-on
What, he's a cartoon?
They do a cartoon. They do a cartoon sequence.
I thought it was
Yeah.
like
and
a Stan
it looks
Winston
like
puppet.
that baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, whatever his
Yes.
name is. Okay, we got to get through this.
So the
movie 'cause
pregnancy-
I don't want to talk about
This
it.
lady is like pregnant. It seems like the next day she comes in and like, I'm
Wait,
pregnant.
wait. We can't skip
took
over
a
the
day.
great scene where like they're looking at the sonogram and the baby is like doing Cuban Pete on it.
He's doing Cuban Pete, and then he's rapping. He has like a gold chain.
She'll never notice it. She never notices that her baby is a cartoon.
But then for some reason, there's a shot of her eating crackers, and she's
Yeah.
putting like silly string on it.
Isn't that
Now,
wacky?
in the montage sequence, the scene is double the lengths, and she does like she eats Play-Doh and stuff like that. So
Okay, gross.
Why?
Well,
while this is happening,
feelings.
Alan Cummings is looking for the mask because his father, Odin, keeps yelling at him. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I guess
Basically, yeah, it's like
they just want to take back the mask from Earth so people don't cause mischief and get like god powers or something like that.
And the first time you see the baby use his cartoon powers is absolutely horrifying. His mother's blowing up a balloon and the baby makes his head blow up.
I think that's the ugliest scene I've ever seen.
It is kind of
baby
horrifying.
balloon head, and the fact that she doesn't even see it.
There is a really funny scene right after that where Jamie Kennedy is like sleep deprived and he gets up in the middle of the night to feed the baby.
Okay, so he would have killed his baby.
Yeah, and yet I think that's the funniest joke in the movie.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he reaches for a bottle and he grabs a lamp instead, breaks the lamp.
Yeah.
So it's just the like electrical wires and the broken glass.
Yeah, and it's like this exposed filament, and he's about to like stab it into the baby's face.
Yeah, this is
and then the
like-
baby does like a cartoonish like,
Yeah,
like his eyes pop out.
Yeah, so if it wasn't a cartoon, it could have ended differently. See, I think that maybe, if I had children, I might feel differently about this scene. But I mean, I was laughing. There's like a similar scene in like an episode of BoJack Horseman where Princess Caroline has a newborn baby and she comes home and she's sleep deprived and she also has a burrito and she accidentally puts the baby in the microwave.
Oh, no.
It's just for like a second, but it's
And
it
that
reminded me
baby,
of that.
like, after it does that, like, cartoonish thing, it's in its bed looking terrified that, like, its father would kill it.
The real like baby that they used, babies, pretty cute, but it does kind of have a crazy face.
Yeah, very interesting face, almost to the point where sometimes I was thinking like, is that the CGI
real?
baby?
Well, they did their job well then.
Does he just have a weird face?
The twins that play it have an amazing name. It's like, I'm looking right here. I know it's the last name. Oh, Ryan Falconer and Liam Falconer.
Wow.
That is a fantastic name. That can't be that's like stage name, but still.
I mean, this was the only film they were ever in. So that was it. If they changed their names legally just for
Ryan
that.
and Liam Falconer.
The
All
Falconers.
the Australians have awesome names like that.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
The Falconers
Like-
flew too close to the sun.
That montage though has like what I like in this movie of like every time you see the clock, it's actually like a different optical illusion practical effect of a clock.
Oh, it's just
so
like-
it's like a giant clock or like a wide clock.
I didn't even notice that unless it wasn't in our version.
No, it wasn't your version.
Yeah, he kind of like, when the alarm goes off and he throws it across the room.
Oh,
it's
that
like-
scene.
it's
I was
super giant.
confused what was even happening.
Yeah.
So 40 minutes in, we're like, all right, are we getting to the Son of Mass part? Basically what happens after this is a bunch of like disconnected scenes because they were all switched around of the baby torturing Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah,
and the dog.
The wife goes away to for like a work trip
a
or something
week,
like that. So
which
he's left at home, just the baby and the dog.
So I'm going to give some script notes real quick on this movie. This is not satisfying the way this is structured.
No.
That Jamie Kennedy becomes aware of the baby being the mask right away.
Right.
Especially if it's going to fight the dog. Like, you should fight the dog before Jamie Kennedy becomes aware that his baby's the mask.
It's weird, and he doesn't seem to realize what's happening until much later.
No,
He
and I
thinks
think
he's
that's
just-
because scenes got shifted around.
Yeah, he thinks he's just hallucinating. But
Yeah.
yeah, so you have like the scene of the dog like plotting, and it's like a huge long montage, and then we see it executed, which takes 20 minutes.
It turns into like a kind of Roadrunner
Yeah.
coyote
Yeah.
short in the middle of this movie, and it is so long
Yeah,
and
but
But
elaborate.
it feels like what I don't like about the sequence is the baby's very malicious.
Well, yeah, I felt really bad for the dog, and I know it's a cartoon.
the dog is trying to kill the baby as well.
I know, but
It is.
I like dogs.
I felt more the baby trying to torture Jamie Kennedy. The baby has a dream sequence where it wants to drive its father to insanity. So he gets
Yeah.
locked up in an insane asylum, mental institute.
Basically, at one point, the baby's becoming so annoying that he just plunks it down in front of the TV, and the baby starts
Yeah.
watching these old cartoons and
Oh, the Flintstones, poor baby.
And
So
what's
it's
that
like-
that frog short, the singing
Yeah,
frog short?
Oh yeah, hello my baby,
forget
hello
what
my
it's called.
darling,
It has
hello
a-
my ragtime
Which has a
gal.
name.
It feels like they show the entire short in this movie.
yeah, and then you don't want to watch something much better in your bad
Yes,
movie.
reminding you of something better than what you're watching.
it's like, I just
Especially when the big sequence where the baby reveals itself to Jamie Kennedy is pure nightmare fuel. It's just like the CGI baby whose face keeps like deforming into like giant eyes and like
Yeah.
cartoon faces.
and like flying around the
Yeah.
room.
I wonder, this would have never happened, but like this movie would be funnier if he was just a like cell animated baby, not like a horrifying CGI
You mean
monstrosity.
like a
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, like Roger Rabbit.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I think it would
I
be
agree.
funnier if it was just a puppet.
you'd still be stuck with Jamie Kennedy. But
If it was a puppet, that'd be even funnier.
That would be so
man.
good. Yeah.
that'd be so funny.
Like an
No,
like an
instead,
elf type thing.
and let's ask Colin. So, Colin,
Yeah.
at this, sorry, I'm just flipping through the movie here, and I'm getting distracted by this CGI baby. People had dancing baby fever at this point, right?
Yeah, this was
When
crazy.
movie came out.
Yeah, I don't know. So on Ally
McBeal.
McBeal,
Yes,
I don't know when. It must have been like the first video meme, I think.
I think it was the pilot too that the dancing baby.
No,
of
it wasn't the
that.
pilot because I watched that recently. I think it was like
Okay.
way after.
Yeah, it was kind of later, but the thing is, the dancing baby meme was popular way before Ally McBeal. So
Yes,
for some
so
reason,
it was a reference to the dancing CGI baby. I think he was in a commercial, or it was in a
I think
commercial.
it was in a commercial too, maybe. But yeah, you're right. I think that's like one of the first memes.
I want to say
So
that
someone I know at that time said, I hate that CGI dancing baby because every time I look at it, I just think of the soul of all the dead babies.
oh god.
I'm not even joking. Like,
friend
she
has-
actively
friend has
disliked it
issues.
for that reason.
It's very disturbing.
yes.
Yeah,
Because it looks like a dead
It's a
baby?
disturbing thing, but it's
Well,
funny.
because it looks like a soulless thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And like, this was not
Yeah.
an intellectualized thing that she said. Like, it was something she genuinely believed. Like, she didn't say it as a joke.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I have the Cinefex magazine that covered this movie.
Does it have the baby on the cover?
Not on the cover, no, but inside
Okay.
the magazine. So it's funny when you look at stills, out of context of the movie, and I'd never seen the movie before that. So when I'm looking at stills of the baby, I'm like, okay, like the lighting is pretty good, the hair, the skin looks really nice. It's like ILM doing it. When you see it animated, it's a whole other thing. It's really disturbing.
Well, I think it's that thing of like maybe technically at the time they were doing like wild things that have never been done before, but it's that uncanny valley of like there is no way to make this not look horrifying.
Yeah. And
There's just no way.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have the same effect when they do it on the dog because that.
Very stylized.
Very stylized, and I think they should have gone that route with the baby and not.
Yes,
kept it,
I agree.
Kept it so real.
Yeah, you're
looking.
right. Just have the baby be like flip to a cartoon,
Yeah.
and then flip back to
Yeah.
regular.
But you can't do it both ways in this movie, and I think that's why the dog is just way more entertaining for me to watch. But I think
Yeah.
it's one of those things where this was like early 2000s, 2005, where effects at that time were. There were all the producers and were pushing, CGI to do things that it just wasn't ready for yet.
Yeah,
that's-
what was this? 2003?
Five. So that's why you get, like American Werewolf in Paris and stuff like that.
Karate Dog.
do anything.
yeah.
Like, no.
I was gonna say we should cover that movie. We already did.
We already did.
It was a long
What,
time.
American Werewolf in Paris or Karate Dog? I think we did both,
Both
didn't
of
we?
them.
Yeah, we did.
There's no more bad movies for us to talk about.
There is one scene that there's no payoff where Jamie Kennedy is like doing something and the baby, I think, rips a fart. You don't see it.
Yeah, that's like,
His farts
we
are
need
fun.
to punch this up in
Yeah.
post.
But yeah, nothing. I mean,
Nothing, there's no CGI effect.
No,
nothing.
you don't even see
It
the baby's just looking at him, and then he's
And
doing.
then there's a fart.
He's just this. And they both kind of look at one another, and then the scene ends, and there's no payoff.
well, maybe the scene that was supposed to come after that is where he changes him, but instead that comes after the huge dog assassination scene.
Was there a deleted scene where there's payoff to that fart,
Is
Justin?
there a shit joke?
No, but like, for example, the pissing joke when Jamie Kennedy is pissed in the face was supposed to come very early on before his wife leaves.
Yeah, you could tell because I was
Yeah.
like, wait, he's had the kid for like a week now and he hasn't even changed it yet? That's what it seemed like, right? So it's all stupid.
Yeah, it's like 6 streams of piss, and then,
And then
a
one
big fire
big
hose.
giant and
And then finally, Alan Cummings comes to their house and he's like, "Is this a crazy baby?" And they're like, "No, it's just normal." Oh wait, there's a scene where the baby kills Jamie Kennedy by like smashing his head against like the sofa.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He like picks him up and he's like,
yeah.
Let's get to the end here because we've been running so long on the Son of
you
Mass.
think it's the end, so yeah.
It gets really drawn out where Alan Cumming, one thing I laughed at, his car license plate says low key, like LOW.
Key. Hilarious. So he realizes he realizes that.
Sorry, I just imagine April laughing, and then like bars come down, and we pull back, and she's in a straight coat.
insane. What do they say in the cartoon? It's like psychopathic hospital.
Psychopathic asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he realizes the kid is the one he's looking for, so he wants to trade the kid for the mask. He wants the mask back,
Which has been lost the whole movie.
the dog keeps burying it and digging
And
it up
wearing
again. Yeah. I feel bad for the dog because at one point he gets kicked out of his room and he has to go live in the doghouse.
Yeah.
And he's carrying the sign that says Otis's room.
The poor little guy.
So sad. He just wanted a room back. That's why he wants to kill the baby.
Yeah, Jamie Kennedy almost gets hit by a piano. Anyway, so Alan Cumming steals the baby eventually.
And they realize that we have to get the dog because he has the mask, and the dog is like trying to get laid with like the hot dog.
The movie
next
keeps
door.
stopping too. It's like Alan Cummings loses his power.
Yeah.
The next scene, he gets his powers
Yeah,
back.
it's
It's like,
just-
what?
I know. It's like, don't do that unless it's going to be for a large portion of the movie. Like, maybe it was originally and it was an editing.
In the 2-hour version of Son of
Yeah.
Mass.
Oh, man. And then, he goes in with the baby to his network pitch, blows that, gets fired from his job. Seems
Hey,
to get
I'd
it
fire
back.
him too. Oh yeah, but he just gets it back out of nowhere.
Yeah,
at
that's the thing. It's
at the
just
end of the
there's no
movie.
consequences to anything.
Whoa. The director of this movie, I didn't notice this before. He did a very important part of my childhood. He directed the CD-ROM adventure game Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland.
Oh whoa! I never played that.
Oh, it's so hard. Like, even watching playthroughs, I'm like, oh my, how did people finish this? But it's all like live action stuff. Like, all the monsters are live action.
Those
Jeff
games-
Goldblum is in it as a character.
Oh,
You crazy son of a bitch, Goosebumps.
And Isabella Rossellini as well.
What?
I think they're vampires.
whoa! Goosebumps getting all the stars.
Escape from Horrorland. I remember playing the game and I owned it and I could not get past like the first part. It's like so hard.
They probably
It's
got
like
all those stars because back in the day, it's like, it's like a movie, but it's on your computer.
Yeah, it's like a point and click adventure game.
It looks just as good as like a movie.
Yeah, 100%. It looked like it cost money. Like, there's a lot of like sets and special effects. I mean, sure, they were in front of green screens and stuff like that, but check it out for people that don't know what it is and they want that classic 1996 FMV game and Jeff Goldblum as a vampire.
One of the funniest ones you'll ever see is there's one called Ripper.
Oh yes.
Starring Christopher Walken, and somebody's put his scenes up on YouTube. You can watch.
Sure, I've probably seen
They are the funniest line readings. Like, it looks like he does not give a shit. It's so funny.
Can you blame him?
I always get Ripper confused. There was one called Harvester, which was like a kind of like Twin Peaks style game, but one of the endings you can get is like you kill your mom as you're playing a video game at the end of the game.
Oh
Whoa.
God.
Yep.
They got a
It's,
little dark there.
Yep, that came out in 1966 too. The mid 90s were like the height
96.
of
1996.
1990s. What did I say?
You said 66.
Oh yeah, FMV was real early on.
It's a prototype.
Oh, Ripper came out in 1996 as well.
Okay, so let's just cover the end of this movie. So Alan Cumming realizes he actually likes the baby, and they like, turn into things together.
They're showing off
They
like
play
their
Twister,
powers.
and they turn into like a Cronenberg like monster meets Mr. Fantastic while they play Twister. And
They have a standoff. He won't get the baby back.
he just says, "I've grown attached" in a funny line reading. But like, then you think it's over. It's not. Then there's this big like
There's a car
boxing thing.
And there's like a car chase. So
the car chase.
Jamie Kennedy turns into the mask. And then
Yeah,
has like a
again.
mask car, which is the most
pointless. It's
pointless thing. And they have this stupid car chase through the city.
I think I want to say a favorite thing, other than the baby, which I love, was I did chuckle at a joke where Alan Cumming pulls out a big axe, and then the axe pulls out a gun, and he points it at Jamie Kennedy.
right, yeah, okay.
That's a simple cartoon gag that made me smile.
I did like when the dog bit him in the dick.
That's it. There's no
just
other
that.
joke.
They cut to orbit, and then his eyeballs are like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
flying
yeah,
out
his
into
eyes
orbit.
pop out. I used to doodle people's eyes popping out all the time in my notebooks. Like that's like the classic cartoon thing.
Yeah, and like earlier in the movie, the dog's eyes actually fall out, and that was
Yeah, that's horrifying when he's being
nightmarish.
dragged backwards.
I
Yeah.
hated that whole sequence so much.
I was laughing.
disturbed.
Big smile on my face.
Oh, so long.
Anyway, so yeah, after the car chase, there's an old-timey boxing parody for no one.
I just wrote here, movie won't end.
Yeah, it turns into like a Duck Amuck parody.
Yeah, it's so
where
weird.
Like,
They kind of like let the baby choose whether it's going to go with Loki or the dad.
but there's no reason for it to choose Jamie Kennedy. Like, there's no reason.
He's grown attached to his father, but
then-
yet he's a bad father.
Yeah, and then he takes off his mask and he's like, "Hey, come on, it's me." And it's like the movie gets so sentimental in points, and it's like you can't have it.
Yeah, the music is.
Then Odin shows up.
and then they make up.
they reconcile.
It's about fathers and sons, apparently.
And then magically, Jamie Kennedy is back at his animation studio doing like a mocap show now with the
Okay, the show they show the clip from looks so bad.
I know.
Well, I thought it was like, oh, what is this, Flash animation? I was like, why?
Oh,
why
I
is
wanted
it-
to ask Colin, would have these effects been hard because the like CGI things are so cartoony in the way they move?
What do you mean, the one in the show?
No, the ones in like just like the normal CGI, for like the baby and the dog, because usually
sure,
you build
yeah.
models, right? And like because they can't stick to those models because they have to like keyframe everything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have some liberties with the dog because he seems to be more cartoony. So you can kind of get away with that sort of stuff, but it would all be hand animated. The baby,
Yeah,
not so
okay.
much because you're kind of sticking to like a realistic looking baby most of the time.
Because I remember recently hearing like it was Into the Spider-Verse. Someone was talking about they had to do something cartoony like that, and it was very difficult because it was breaking the kind of model they built for the character.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like in classical animation, they would give you like a model sheet. Of the character.
And also, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, in classical animation, it was looked down upon if characters are off model.
Yeah, and it's very strict, and they have rules that they would say, like, they would give us like old sheets for like Scooby-Doo, and it's like he can't do this, his face can't deform, or if he has a reaction, he can only do this. Like it's almost like a character Bible that you have to follow very strictly.
Yeah.
Even though, like in classical animation, it's a lot easier to just do whatever you want with the character.
Yeah, and I hear it's harder to do that now, like using software like Toon Boom, because it's like Shock, right? Where you like tweak the models as opposed to animating them.
Right.
Which gives that kind of like, that's why The Simpsons looks the way that it does now.
Yeah, and like, when you're just drawing something, you can start wherever you want with the character. You're not working from a base that you kind of manipulate. Ow.
Well,
As opposed...
sorry, go ahead.
This hurt my knuckle.
Oh, angrily talking about Son of Mask. I was just thinking because like the early Simpsons cartoons, like they're very off model.
Oh yeah, they're
a lot.
all over the place.
And the director, that got fired, Jeff Butterworth, who did Sonic Adventure Show, used to say, if you can recognize the character, they're on model, which is wild to say because that like leaves like so much stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
That Sonic Adventures was wacky.
Wild, yeah.
They did
I think he was
crazy.
one of the head directors on that show, and that's why like Simpsons, like there's a difference between being on model and being so like just like trapped in model.
Yeah, for sure. I think once it becomes so popular and you're sending it off to some production company to do, you can't really do it with like a small team and experiment.
Yeah.
So it becomes more rigid and rule based, I guess.
Well,
It's got to do an animated film so we can talk about all this, like Rock-a-Doodle-Doo, or that one where I can't get Rodney Danger. What is it? Rodney Doggerfield?
Rover Dangerfield.
Rover Dangerfield.
yeah, have we ever
Oh,
done
I
an
tell
animated
ya.
movie? I'm sure we have.
My
but,
owner gave me some dog food the other day.
I don't know if we have.
that's
I mean-
insane if we've done 123 episodes and half of those were 2 movies. But I feel like we have. But I
We
mean,
could do real shit like Titan AE. I mean, Don Bluth has a whole.
as we all know, AI is gonna, change animation industry
animation.
as we know it.
It's going to
right?
democratize it, April.
That's
Democratize
right.
it.
That language.
Ugh, barf.
Okay, now I like the Corridor Guys, but that was a.
That was a
misstep.
huge misstep on their part.
I think
yeah.
it was the intro and the way he was talking about animators and animation.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, this like crew of like VFX guys who have a YouTube channel decided to see if they could use AI tools to create an quote unquote anime. And well, you can look it up yourself.
As
but
they said, they like rotoscoped just acting. Like it wasn't even real animation. And also they taught the program from Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah, to rip
So
off
they
somebody
stole
else's
it.
style.
Yeah.
yeah, so it was a little gauche and
Yeah, it's like-
you know what? we're having a hard time with AI right now, like replacing people, and maybe it can help people do their jobs, but like don't create something worse and be like, see, we don't even need
exactly.
animators.
Well, they were kind of like right on the front lines of pushing like NFT bullshit as well.
they really?
Oh yeah, they were the quarter guys.
They had people on and they were like, yeah, let's do some NFTs. And it's like,
Oh,
fuck.
God. Anyway,
Anyway.
Son of the
Well,
Mask.
NFTs are still going strong now, so
To
the moon.
Son of the Mask.
do you
is
like
over.
No Such Thing as a Bad Movie? Well, get your barf on the gorilla for the No Such Thing as a Bad Movie NFTs.
Yo.
Yeah, I think we covered everything.
Yeah. The movie ends. The end.
is anything
And
else
they're having another baby.
Oh,
And the baby smiles like a serial killer,
And
and then the credits.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the dog cuts the film and he's like doing stuff on screen.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Oh, God.
The movie's over. Why are you bringing
Let us leave.
the lovable
please.
character, the animated dog?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then it has like a really inappropriate like end song through
it
the
was
credits.
like a pop song.
Yeah, it was very
like
strange.
not like tonally correct at all.
What is the song? I thought you meant inappropriate, like it was like too
Had,
sexy or
swearing
something like that.
No,
yeah.
I think it was too pleasant for the movie I had just seen.
Yeah.
Oh, but every movie in 2005 ended that way.
That's true.
I was expecting a rap about the,
Yeah, they should have had
Jamie Kennedy rap for us, sir. Isn't that
Yeah,
what
it's
you
like
had a whole movie about that?
love go over the ocean.
Yeah,
You
like,
just
what-
leave with a smile on your
I
face.
guess. I can just imagine angry people leaving the theater to that song, being like, "That sucked."
I can't believe you made us see that. I think I've told the story before, but the House of the Dead screening ended, and someone in the audience went "boo" when the credits started.
That's the Uwe Boll, right?
Yeah, it's a Uwe
That's
Boll
another
movie.
director we have not covered.
No.
It's too easy.
I haven't seen any
as
of his
opposed
stuff.
to Son of the Mask.
Yeah.
Son of the Mask, as we all know, is like up there with probably one of the worst rated movies. Like it's probably like,
It has like a
the
6.
IMDb score is
It has
probably
a
the worst.
2.2 out of 10
Yeah,
on IMDb.
And it's 6% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, this one and Master of Disguise, which I'm sure we will get to eventually.
I may have to like pick that as revenge.
Yeah, you got to make sure it lands on the day of remembrance, September 11th.
Oh, God.
And then we can watch Master of Disguise.
Oh no.
You know what? I would say Super Babies 2 Baby Geniuses is probably worse than
No.
Son of Mask.
Yeah,
Bob Clark is an artist.
and that's like the connection with the Deadly Lessons guy, right?
Oh, yeah. One of the Paul brothers produced it.
Yeah.
I mean, the cast of Super Babies 2 is John Voight, Scott Baio.
I was reminded a lot of Baby Geniuses watching this movie because they
You a
look
big Baby Genius
They look the same. But we can't do that movie because then, like, how many bad John Voight performances are we going to cover on this?
Never enough.
You bite your tongue.
He was
Yeah,
good in
never
Karate Dog. Anyway, that's the movie. I absolutely would not recommend it under any circumstances. It does kind of sound like the special features were good on the Blu-ray, though.
Were they?
They're interesting.
Interesting,
They're
not good.
Yeah, the director took it very seriously. He has the driest speaking voice you've ever heard, and he does commentary over every deleted scene.
Wow.
He was trying, and he had ideas.
Yeah.
And he was trapped with Jamie Kennedy,
And I mean,
unfortunately.
I'm sure that I haven't listened to the rest of that Jamie Kennedy podcast, but it sounds like there were production issues all along.
Yeah, check
and
it out on YouTube.
It was a troubled production, so
Yeah,
that's how
like,
you get something like this.
Basically, it sounded like he.
Well,
kind of,
I don't know what the real version would be. I don't think it would be any better, though.
Oh, I don't know if you can do this.
No.
Good.
No, I think his deal is like he signed on because he didn't want to be compared to Jim Carrey, obviously. So he signed on because he only became the Mask at the very end of the movie, just for a brief bit, just to save the day. And then when he arrived on set in Australia, they had completely rewritten the movie.
Now you have to conceive the
was like,
baby
oh,
as the
no.
Mask. Yeah.
It sounded like a big nightmare.
Anyway, this movie's on Netflix if you want to watch it. But
I will continue to try to find movies, not as bad as this, but in the same vein. Can someone say, "Who let the dogs out?" Marmaduke.
and the
You guys
Shag-
like Lee Pace, right?
I love
He's in
Lee
that.
Pace.
Lee Pace.
Okay, maybe if Lee Pace
Oh.
is in it, I can watch it.
And William H. Macy.
Hot
All
and
right.
bothered here.
Okay. If you want to email the podcast, we're at no such thing as a bad movie at gmail.com. We're on Twitter as well at no such thing pod. And consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/no such thing as a bad movie. If you subscribe on the $5 level, you get a bonus episode every 2 weeks and access to over 100 of these bonus episodes. Most recent one was about New movie in theaters right now, Gerard Butler's Plane.
We really don't talk about Plane very much.
We do,
at all.
but we talk a little more about the man himself, Gerard Butler, which we cannot
and
stop talking
It's
about.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, there's a few tangents there, but check it out and subscribe on there.
Mostly tangents.
Yeah, subscribe on there, and also if you're subscribed to the $2 level and up, you can be submitted into our Bad Movie Lottery, and you get to pick an episode, which we do about every couple months. Also, we're on YouTube if you want to listen to our stuff there, and if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at April Atmansky.
You know what The Mask is based on? A comic book.
That's right.
By Dark Horse Entertainment.
Funny you mentioned.
If only I had a podcast that had talked about comic books. I do. It's called The Very Fine Comic Book Podcast. And every week, me and my pal, Mike Wood, talk about a new comic book. Very introductory, just want to get you into it. Bunch of discussion about stuff like Archie, the Married Life. Have you ever read Archie and went, I wish this was realistic and depressing like my life? Well, Archie, the Married Life will cover those bases.
I'm laughing already.
Check that out. Next week, we're doing the original Alien vs. Predator comic, which you will not believe came out before Predator 2, also from Dark Horse Entertainment. That's the Very Fine Comic Book Podcast.
Yeah, that's what led to the alien skull in Predator 2.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that.
And when you read the comic, you're like, why didn't they just adapt this into the Paul W. Sanderson version? No, he did, but he just changed it to be worse because they get credited, the writers, for this. And the original Alien vs. Predator comic was drawn by the guy who did the storyboards for all the James Cameron movies, like T2 and stuff like that.
Cool.
What's his name?
I don't know. It's the only comic book he ever drew in its entirety.
Okay.
And he actually was so busy with storyboards that he had to leave before the last issue was done. No, I can't find it very quickly. But listen, Philip Norwood is his name.
Okay.
Cool.
And Chris Warner. Yeah.
All right.
Well, you can find me on Twitter, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
And that's it for this week. Good Lord, Son of the Mask. Whew, it was...
he is the son of the Lord, Loki. That's why he's the son of the Mask.
He's the son of the Mask, and he's the son of our Lord and Savior.
I wonder if the sperm scene will be on YouTube somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It is. I looked.
Okay.
I went sperm, son of Mask, so you can check it out yourself.
Definitely check out those Ripper clips with Christopher Walken. They're funny as hell.
And that's it for this week. I'm April Atmansky.
I'm Justin DeClue.
I'm Colin Cunningham.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
Smoking causes cancer.